Hello, Dijon here. In the animation portion of episode 139 of the Mustardcast, we go over what cartoons we've been watching lately, discuss the 10 cartoons to get to know us, and our top 5 cartoons of 2025. Please enjoy. We're going to start with animation. Bree, what have you been watching lately?
Oh my gosh, that's a very good question. So I haven't been watching much, only because my Netflix subscription is gone. I can't even watch Peaky Blinders, but I have to get it again because I was sharing an account. But that's it. I haven't been watching any animation. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie. There is a anime that's newly released and it's still like releasing episodes called Common Writer.
Ooh.
And it's like like those isekais where like they go to like a different world and like they get powers based on that world or whatever. It's sort of like that, but not. So he wants to be like his idol, Common Writer, that he's seen growing up. This man has autism, by the way, because he like idolizes this cartoon character, and so he spends like his time like training in like the woods and everything, and like punching trees and literally fighting bears. And it's not like he legit has powers. He's just like really freakishly strong. But
Kind
it
of like
just
an
follows
absolute Batman situation.
basically it's exactly like that. He was like, I want to be Common Writer. He's not, real in that world, but like I'm just gonna train. And I think slowly, I haven't watched any recent episodes yet, but he is like low key forming a team because he does come across a girl who also wants to be like her favorite TV show character. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. I recommend it. Like it's silly, but it has like good aspects to it.
Yeah, it sounds like just a
I
bunch
didn't
of
expect
people
like it.
obsessing over their favorite tokusatsu characters and deciding, you know what, I'm gonna
Listen.
become a Power Ranger.
Right. But didn't we all have a phase like that when we were younger?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
What
Hold
about
on
you?
1 second.
Sorry. What about you, Ed?
Animation wise, it hasn't really been much for me either. The holidays get really busy for me because I have a big family, so it's like lots of shopping. So I haven't had the like time to like sit down and really watch a lot. I did start rewatching Norogami for the kicks and giggles, just because the manga ended recently and I don't think I ever like I finished the anime, but I don't remember that much from it. So I'm like, why not watch it again just for the kicks and giggles? And that's really about it.
For me, still watching Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, and One Piece alongside Blind Wave. And episode 44, One Piece, Nami's farewell to Kokoyashi Village made me tear up. I was like, my feelings. It was so good. Just the combination of the emotional moment and the nostalgia of remembering watching that episode for the first time, it just hit me. It hit me. I was like, man, One Piece is so good. I'm a psychopath who's rewatching One Piece one episode at a time every week on Saturday. I'm not even caught up on One Piece. I have to get around to that eventually. Also watching Sakamoto Days and Rama One Half. Both of those are still good. Sakamoto's Days, the first season has wrapped up, so I'm catching up. And Rama One Half is close to ending, I believe. A couple episodes left in this second season. Still watching Mighty Nine. I think there's only one episode left in this season of 99 because it premiered with 3 episodes and that one episode. Episode 7 was the most recent one, so there's one more left because I think this is an 8-episode season in comparison to Vox Machina, which has 12-episode seasons because 99 episodes are 45 minutes long. So yeah, Mighty Nine's great. That would have been on a list that I made that we'll talk about later this section, but unfortunately I forgot about how much good shit came out.
Right.
Also, still watching Fiona and Cake. I've been forgetting to mention that.
Oh, I need to get into
But
that.
Fiona Cake's real good. Fiona Cake is basically just a sequel to Adventure Time. It's real good. Episode
It's
9
so dramatic.
was the best so far. It was very introspective on a lot of the characters, and it brought back the multiverse exploration fans have been wanting all season. And just before we started recording, I discovered that it was written and storyboarded by Rebecca Sugar, and that's why it's so goddamn good. Because the goat came back to the series that started it all, and of course there was a song in the episode. And yeah, it was just a great episode, best episode so far. There's one episode left. A lot of people have been liking the season because there's less of the multiverse stuff, but there's also um like Fiona's universe is like basically a normal world, kind of with like a little bit of magic, and so it doesn't feel as much like a like gender swap version of the regular Adventure Time world that it originally was, and some people aren't liking that. And they prefer that it was more magical. I like it. I like it.
I think it's a fun spin.
Yeah, but I get some of the criticism. I watched the first episode of Tomb Raider: Legend of Lara Croft season 2. And I liked the first season, but episode 1 of season 2 didn't really pull me in. But I'm still gonna watch it. I'm just not as hype on it as I want to be. But the thing that's really kind of keeping me somewhat hype is just the fact that new Tomb Raider games are on the horizon. That has me excited, and it make me want to just consume more Tomb Raider content. And rewatch the Angelina Jolie movies, which are also on Netflix.
Oh wow!
But yeah, moving on to our first section of the like end of year wrap up, where we're gonna talk about the 10 cartoons to get to know us and our top 5 cartoons of the year. But we're gonna start with 10 cartoons to get to know us. Would either of you like to start, or should I start?
I can start.
Oh.
I guess since it is your podcast, it would be want for you to start. So.
Okay. I wondered. I think at first it was no particular order for me, but then I went through and was like, maybe I should like put them in order. So this is a loose ranking order, but not really. Take the ranking with a grain of salt, but it is kind of ranked. So I'm actually going to start from the bottom because of that. At the bottom of the 10 cartoons to get to know me, we're doing both animated and we're doing animated movies and TV shows. And that includes anything animated. So we're not differentiating anime from American cartoons, so on and so forth. It's just everything animated. And at the very bottom for me of my top 10 is I should also say it's not necessarily a top 10 things that you like. It's 10 things to get to know you. So think about it as like, of these 10 things, each of them should like represent a part of your interest and your personality in a way. That not necessarily just listing out what are your 10 favorite cartoons. Like there are some cartoons that would be in here that I like more than some of the cartoons that are on this list, but they're too similar to other ones that are already on the list, so they would kind of just be a wasted slot. And I'll mention some of them as I go along the way. But at the bottom is Ghost in the Shell. I love Ghost in the Shell. Love that movie so much. I have 4K Steelbook. I have the animated series on Blu-ray. I love Ghost in the Shell. And just in terms of like older animated, specifically anime movies, that's like I didn't watch I didn't watch any Studio Ghibli when I was a kid. I was watching shit like Ghost in the Shell when I was a kid. I didn't watch Studio Ghibli until I was in high school, and me and Bree's teacher showed us Ponyo. That was my first time seeing a Studio Ghibli movie.
Right.
And now I've gone to see a lot of them in theaters, including the most recent one, The Boy and the Heron. But yeah, my type of animated movie when I was a kid was Ghost in the Shell when it came to anime, and that just really shaped who I am, and my love of sci-fi. And yeah, Ghost in the Shell is just awesome. And how about we all do one at a time?
Okay.
That could be fun. Or should we not do that? Is that too weird?
We can do that. And I think starting from the bottom and working our way up.
Okay.
Just to compare. Yeah.
So how about you?
For me, mine are in no particular order. Frankly, because like all of these things are like formative to my taste, and so it's hard to rank them. But there are some things that I am slightly biased over, slightly biased about over others. But at the bottom of my list sits Norogami. It was formative to getting me into anime. It was one of the first animes I watched on my own, because I used to just watch them with my mom, and like whatever she would watch, I would watch. Your Dragon Ball, your like older stuff, and it was the first thing that like I sought out on my own just to watch because I had no prior knowledge of it.
Mhm.
And again, that was like formative for my taste because it's like it made me realize I really, really, really like shonens over everything else because it's like at the time in the anime clubs that I was in, because this was middle school, they're like, well, since you're a girl, you should watch and read girly stuff like Shugochara and all that stuff. You can't hang with the big
You
boys. And
gotta
I'm
watch
like, I'm
Fruits
gonna go find a
Basket.
big boy anime. Right, Fruits Basket. And it's like, I'm gonna go find in air quotes boy anime to watch on my own then, since I can't hang with the big dogs. And Noragami was one of my first.
Mm.
And so I owe it
Norogami is
so
a good
much.
choice.
It really is. I love that anime. 2 pieces.
Cool. I've never seen Origami.
You should.
I've
I
only
can't recommend
What?
it
only
enough.
heard of it
It's
in
really
It's
good.
passing.
so good.
The manga looks cool.
It's very neat. And it just ended, I think, if not this year, then last year. So now's as good as any to catch up. I'm still holding out hope for season 3. I can't lie. It's been
Mm.
years, but I'm like it's like if Rama 1/2 can get a remake, Noragami can get a season 3. So
Listen, you never
I don't know.
know. They
Those
be
are
popping out
two
with new
different
things
levels.
all the time.
right.
But yeah, how about you, Brie?
Uh, Also mine aren't any like particular order. So like the first on my list is Psychopaths. I remember sitting on my couch watching that with like
Mm.
two of my friends, and it was like very intense, and it was so good that I got like my parents into it, and so like me and my dad would like sit and talk about it. And if anyone doesn't know what Psychopaths is, it's basically like these I think they're not like detectives. They're like police officers who like go to like certain crime scenes where like someone's acting pretty crazy, and their guns basically detect whether or not that person's like clinically insane and needs to be put down, or like there's like a possibility to save them. And I forget how the first season ends. I don't know if they ever came up with like another season. I've only ever watched the first season, but apparently there's something deeper to like what's happening like with like the police force and like their guns. There's like a higher power that's controlling people and like turning them insane essentially. I might be like far off because it's been so long since I watched it, but like that was like one of my favorite animes at the time. I love a good mystery, murder mystery.
That's saying Psychopaths is a deep cut, like a deep cut.
Very, very deep.
Yeah, Psychopaths is always one I heard. I tried to watch it a while ago and didn't like it. I watched like one episode. The very first, of course. I didn't, just decide. Let's start with episode 8. But yeah, I know that like there's a gun from that show that's really really famous.
I remember people were like making their own models of that actually
Yeah.
like deconstructed the ways that theirs did, and it was pretty rad.
That sounds rad.
Yeah, that's how we all started with anime.
I'm sorry.
I think
I
I
didn't
only
wanna-
have one cartoon proper on this list.
I didn't want to start with something silly like SpongeBob, even though SpongeBob is my favorite.
Okay, go next for B. To just get into that is the regular show.
Yes.
The regular show is just iconic. I don't know what to tell you. Regular show is definitely one of those cartoons that you can tell I think originally they actually wanted it to be on Adult Swim, but they ended up putting it on Cartoon Network, and you can tell by a lot of the jokes, and it's just I feel like watching it at the age we are now, like rewatching it just hits different because
They're so freak nasty in
Rigby
that
and
show.
Mordecai
They really are.
are 23 in that show, and we're all in our mid-20s. We're
Really?
all older than them now than
Not yet.
they were.
I
not
just turned 23.
Yeah, not you yet, but we are. We're getting up there. And
They make it sound like we unk status or something.
look, if you listen to the internet, apparently we are. But
You know what? You're right.
like, yeah, 2010, man, was just a special time for people our age in terms of Cartoon Network, especially. I watched vast majority of Cartoon Network as a kid, so regular show was my life. That comedy shaped me. Regular show is hilarious. Like, any of you who don't know, regular show is a show that will be, it's about, there's a cast of characters and the focus shifts every now and again, but for the most part, it follows Mordecai and Rigby, who are an anthropomorphic. Mordecai's anthropomorphic blue jay, and Rigby is a raccoon, and they work at a park, at a public park, and they also live in one of the like houses in the public park, and they just find any excuse not to work. And they always end up basically, it's like low key every episode is like an entire anime series where they end up fighting God. Every episode they end up deciding not to work and getting into some bullshit that ends up with them fighting a god.
Right.
And then halfway through the episode, Skips comes in, voiced by the goat, Mark
I've
Hamill.
seen this before.
You know, Luke Skywalker himself, the Joker, comes in. He's like, I've seen this before, and helps them out. Regular show's great. Have you not seen regular show? It holds up. Watch regular show. Regular show's incredible. I've not watched all of it. One of these days, I'm gonna have to rewatch from the beginning and watch the entire thing. But what do you have next day?
For me, next, again, another deep cut. If we're talking cartoon-wise, Space Ghost Coast to Coast was formative for me as a child. And I know that's really random, but my mom and I would watch Adult Swim together sometimes because towards the tail end of the Adult Swim block, another show that's kind of further up on my list that we really, really liked, Crayon Shin-chan, would come on. But in waiting for Crayon Shin-chan, sometimes there would be episodes of Space Ghost Coast to Coast that would come on that we would watch together. And I still think to this day that show is hilarious. And like the fact that it's so simple essentially, because it's really just reused cells from the actual Space Ghost cartoon put in like a talk show format, but it's so simple, but it's so good. And it's like not, I find that a lot of Adult Swim shows have like, they rely too heavily on the crude adult humor to be funny, but Space Ghost Coast to Coast doesn't really have that. It's more absurd than anything else, and I really, really like that.
Yeah, I've never heard of this, or maybe I'm pretty sure I probably like saw it in passing and never realized this. I probably always just thought it was just Space Ghost. I didn't realize that there was a Space Ghost talk show.
A lot of people know of Space Ghost the cartoon, but when they like relay their memories about Space Ghost the cartoon, 99% of the time I found they're talking about Space Ghost Coast to Coast and they don't realize it.
Yeah, that's wild. What do you have next, Brie?
Oh my gosh. I'm like sitting here trying to like put my top 10 for this list, but it's so hard. Another cartoon is Amazing World of Gumball, especially since they just came out with like a new season that I need to like watch, but like it's so good and it's so funny, and it's not just for kids. They do in fact have adult jokes, you know, innuendos, but like it's just like a good time. Like it's one of those shows that kind of like started off like Adventure Time, where like there's like no plot until like later on. And like Amazing World of Gumball doesn't necessarily have like a plot, but the story does follow itself in a way with random stuff happening in between. It just follows the life of like another anthropomorphic like cat, fish, rabbit, and some other characters. And it's really good. It's really cute.
He's got like continuity. I get what you mean.
It's so good.
Yeah, Gumball's goated for sure.
It is. I have watched the wonderfully, or at least part of the wonderfully weird world of Gumball, and it's just as good as the original seasons.
Oh yes.
Great.
Honestly, I'd even argue it's a little better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mention also, they are like regular shows coming back, and it will be on Adult Swim this time. So.
Yippee!
Really?
Yeah.
How are they going to continue it?
I mean, it's going to be the same show basically, but they can actually make adult jokes.
You know what? I can see that.
It's just a matter of like when it's going to take place in the time, because by the end of the show, they were all much older and had kids, and I'm like, are they going to pick up from there, or is it going to take like place in between that?
Right.
Yeah. Next for me is Adventure Time. Another one of those formative cartoons. Like for me, from like 2007 to like 2012 were like some of my most formative years in terms of like entertainment and the things that stuck with me from when I was a youth. And Adventure Time is one of those shows. Came out same year as regular show, and like those were shows that came on back to back, and I just remember watching both of those shows together and loving them both. Adventure Time, very, very weird show. Like it could get so strange. That whole episode where with the werewolf about hugging, that if you bleep out hug, it sounds like they're talking about having sex the entire episode. Is so funny, bro. Adventure Time is hilarious. It is insane. And much like a lot of cartoons when we were younger, a lot of adult jokes hidden in there. And it's so good. It's like when you rewatch Adventure Time, like, and you see some of those jokes, you go, "Oh my god, I did not catch this when I was a kid. That's hilarious."
Right.
I remember
like, I think-
watching Adventure Time with like my family, and like we were on the couch watching the episode where they had like the sausages and they were dipping it in milk and eating it, and it was like zooming in on their mouth. And my parents were like, "What are we watching right now? What is this?" I'm like, "No, I swear it's good."
It's not like this normally.
It's not
Adventure
like
Time. Adventure Time with its like more adult jokes is one of those shows. It's like you don't want your parents walking in on you while you're watching because it's always going to be something utterly unexplainable.
Exactly.
Where it's like, I promise this looks really bad, but that's not what the show is like.
Yeah, and like comedy is like, mostly about timing. And one of the like perfectly timed jokes is like when the episode where there was just a horse standing outside their window and they was just like couldn't get rid of the horse and like Jake was just like, "We gotta kill the horse, man." And I was just start bursting out laughing. I was like, "Whoa, that escalated real fast."
Right.
Yeah, Adventure Time's awesome. What do you have there?
Next up for me is another anime, unfortunately. Rozen Maiden, which again, deep cut. I have a lot of deep cuts on my list, I think, because I'm an old head. But Rozen Maiden was a part of like my anime watching experience in the way of like it was the first anime I ever bootlegged because someone uploaded all the seasons to YouTube and me back when I was like a young spry lad, this was back in elementary school, honestly. I had no idea how to watch anime legally. That's for sure. I was like 10, 11 maybe. So I'm like, it's on YouTube. I'm gonna watch it because it's on YouTube. And it definitely is not the intended watch experience. It's like actually rather bad.
I have several anime I watched like that.
Yeah, but it's like knowing that like how far we've come in like the accessibility in anime is very
for sure.
like, formative to me.
Like I watched the entirety of the 1997 Berserk on YouTube. I watched a lot of Bleach on YouTube, and I watched I watched the entirety of Steven Universe on YouTube.
That's crazy.
The first time I sat down and watched Steven Universe properly was Steven Universe Future and Steven Universe the movie. That was the first time I actually watched it legally.
I was gonna say, the idea of Steven Universe being so old that it was around during the YouTube piracy era is insane to think about to me. Because it's like when I think of Steven Universe, I think of it as a more recent show, but no, it really is that old.
Time is escaping us.
I know. We're all unk now.
No.
Yeah, Rozen Maiden's really good. It's about, I realize I didn't describe what it's about at all, so I will. Rozen Maiden is it a shonen? Is it a seinen? What? Oh, gothic fantasy. So Rozen Maiden is a gothic fantasy anime / manga series. I actually prefer the anime over the manga, which is like unusual for me. But the manga is very slow. It's very slowly paced. And so it's about this kid, the shut-in kid. He's like in middle school. And he's always like ordering weird occult stuff from like mail order catalogs and like the internet and stuff. And he orders, or I guess finds like the steps to this ritual. And he's like, screw it, why not? I don't have anything better to do. I don't go to school. And he performs the ritual and like tucks this envelope in his note, like his desk drawer. And eventually, like, this ornate doll case, like, shows up in his house, and he gets the key, like, in exchange for the letter. And when he unlocks it, there's a doll inside. But the doll is a living doll. It comes with, like, a wind-up key that brings it to life, and then she immediately forces him to do her bidding. And it starts off as, like, a very, like, slice of life, like, haha, this teenage kid has to learn to deal with, like, the proper wants of a lady, but it gets really crazy really fast. There's, like, an overarching plot beat of, like, there's a game that all because there's more than one Rozen Maiden, not just his, and they all have to participate in this game called the Alice game. And the point of the Alice game is, like, whoever wins gets to, like, see their creator, who they dub father, for the first time in I think like centuries. And if you lose the Alice game, you lose your ability to be a living doll. So
Oh my
you
God.
become a normal doll from then on. And your retainer or handler, like whatever human you chose to like, handle your affairs, I think also dies depending on which doll you're facing in the Alice game. It's really insane.
This is
But I love
intense.
it. It's very intense. And if you look up like the main character, you wouldn't expect hold on, I'll drop a picture of her. You wouldn't expect her to be in an anime like that because she's so prim and proper, but also very little girl. I'll put it in animation. And it's like you would think that Rozen Maiden would be very like, slice of life silly, and it is, but like when the tone shifts, it shifts hard.
Oh my
But
gosh.
Yeah, she's very Lolita in the not weird ways, the like fashion way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And that is another thing that I've really liked. Another thing that makes Rozen Maiden super formative for me. It like really developed my eye for character design, because it's like all the Rozen Maiden dolls have very distinct, very like unique designs without them teetering into that territory where they're like doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really fun. I like that anime a lot. I can't recommend it enough. Although, there was a remake that came out recently. Don't watch it. It's terrible. It is awful. It skips right into like the middle of an arc with characters that don't get introduced until like season, I want to say like 3 of the anime. It's insane. Don't bother with the remake.
What do you have next? Bree?
Okay. For my third one, I lumped 3 together because it's very hard to choose, and like these really shaped me when I was younger. But it's Ed, Ed, and Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then Samurai Jack. Ed, Ed, and Eddy is basically like these 3 best friends who like try to scam people out of money so they can get a jawbreaker. Courage is this dog and his old family that live in the middle of nowhere, and like there's always something crazy happening, and he has to protect his family in some way. But he's like always scared about it. And then Samurai Jack, oh, there's so much I could say about it. Just watch it. Just watch Samurai Jack. Both parts.
Samurai Jack was up for consideration when I was thinking about it. Because yeah,
It's so good.
I love
It
Samurai
is.
Jack. I
It's
started
funny.
rewatching it at some point. I need to finish rewatching it.
Same. I need to watch the newer one.
Same. It's funny that you bring up Courage. I actually wasn't allowed to watch that when I was a kid.
I understand. It was very scary.
Good.
Return the Slab really got me.
Real.
That show is wild. It took me a very long time to realize his name is Courage, but he's a cowardly dog. It took me a very long time to realize that joke.
No, same.
Okay, next for me is you include movies. Remember that. And next for me
Oh.
is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, I'm one of those people who like Across the Spider-Verse more than Into the Spider-Verse. And for me, a big reason I like Across the Spider-Verse more than Into the Spider-Verse, despite the fact that it's, an incomplete movie, really, especially in comparison to Into the Spider-Verse, which tells an entire story in of itself. And, Across the Spider-Verse is only one half of a story that's going to end in like 1,000 years. Is because I like, now that these characters are already established for us, I like just getting to see them hang out and interact, and to just really get a bunch of, like, get the relationships between the characters further built up. I always enjoy that in established universes. And we get a lot of that in this movie. It's the reason I like Avengers Endgame more than Infinity War, despite the fact that most people like Infinity War more than Endgame. And no, I don't like it just because the last, 30 minutes is, the greatest thing you'll ever see in your entire life. I like all the stuff before that, at the very beginning, where we just get to see the Avengers just hanging out. I like that stuff. And you get a lot of that in Across the Spider-Verse, and I love that movie because of it. I also like the kind of just message about, Miles. We already got him, learning how to be his own Spider-Man in the first movie, but in this one, it's kind of dialed up when they bring in all of the different even more versions of Spider-Man. And also, what did they call it? The something event. What did they call it?
Canon event.
The canon events, and how we'll have to have a conversation about it at some point, but how that ultimately is for sure gonna turn out to be bullshit in the next movie.
Yeah.
And it's very clearly being set up that way in this movie, and just how Miles, like he says towards the end of the movies, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And I just love that message about the movie. And yeah, I love Across the Spider-Verse a lot. And, you know, just it's gonna go down as one of the most important pieces of animation ever made because it completely changed the industry.
Oh yeah.
The first one at the very least, and this is a continuation of that. But yeah, what about you, A?
Let's see. Next for me, as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I loathe the fact that it is on my list, Sword Art Online is here.
Oh my
Sword Art Online is
goodness!
here, and it is inescapable. I know it's terrible. Before, dear viewers, you jump down my throat and be like, Sword Art Online is terrible. delete your essay in the comments. I know it's bad, and that's why it's on here because before I watched Sword Art Online for the first time, it was banger after banger. Okay, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Soul Eater.
Why was I not on my list?
Cowboy Bebop, like banger after banger. And so I thought every anime was a banger back then. And Sword Art Online really like humbled my viewing experience. Doubly so because I really liked it. And I still kind of am sort of fond of it, but in like an endearing, like, oh, you kind of way. But like back when I watched it, I was a Sword Art Online ride or die. And in rewatching it now that I'm older, I'm like, this is terrible. This shit sucks. But I would not know the difference between a sucky anime and a great anime if I A, had not watched it, and B, had not vehemently defended it throughout my middle school career. So
I mean, this
definitely very formative.
this is 10 cartoons to get to know you. So, you know, this really helps describe you as a person.
I was to say, listen, I'm a ride or die for shit. It's like when it comes to things or like it doesn't even have to be anime, like movies, books, games that are terrible. I'm a ride or die. I think that stuff that's terrible, either on purpose or not on purpose, is honestly more of my favorite than stuff that's well written and made to be.
I agree so
hard. I love trash. I'm sorry. I love trash. And Sword Art Online.
There's like a charm about trash. Like there's just something like really like, I don't know, homey about it.
If you say so. Your turn,
What?
Bree.
So I originally had Cowboy Bebop, but I changed it to Full Metal Alchemist because A said Full Metal Alchemist, and I love all of Full Metal Alchemist. Both parts and the movies.
I was about to get
not the live action.
I was about to get upset until you said you replaced it with Full Metal Alchemist, and I was like, okay, you've tempered me. You replaced peak with peak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Cowboy Bebop also like shaped me a lot. Like I remember waking up to watching it and like hearing the intro.
No, you don't get to talk about it. Talk about Full Metal Alchemist.
What? Oh my god. Anyway, I used to be obsessed with Full Metal Alchemist. Still am. And the artist, like the development team, has made a new manga with the same art style. Like, I thought it was like a continuation of Full Metal Alchemist with how closely they look. But I really want to get the manga and read it before they turn it into an anime. If they turn into an anime. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's so cool. And Full Metal Alchemist, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I think, I don't know, it can't make me hate almost, like, any of the characters. Like, even the villains had, like, lore, and I love villains with lore.
Same.
Except for that one guy who turned, spoiler for Full Metal Alchemist, who turned his daughter into a dog.
Oh, yeah, no,
that guy, that's crazy. That's crazy. Excluding him, but everyone else like descends.
Literally the only character in the entire show that is like universally fuck that guy. Yeah. He has no good reason for having done that.
Exactly. He just wanted to do it because he could.
Yeah.
But yeah, Full Metal Alchemist and the movies scratch the live action. I'm
stupid. Next for me is Batman the Anime Series. You guys hear me talk about Batman the Anime Series all the time. I recently, finished rewatching it. Both myself and I watched it along blind wave. I was double rewatching it. And I love Batman the Anime Series. It is a big part of the reason why Batman is my favorite superhero. That cartoon is awesome. It is largely responsible for just how much I love comic books. And that just obviously shapes who I am. It holds up exceptionally well. It holds up better than most cartoons of that era. Like, even though I've rewatched it and enjoyed it, it was tough for me to eventually get around to rewatching X-Men the Animated Series because it does not hold up nearly as well as something like Batman the Animated Series, which I grew up watching. And like, but yeah, Batman just it's awesome. The music's great. Shout out to Shirley Walker, rest in peace. The composer for Batman the Animated Series. The main theme is Danny Elfman's from the Tim Burton movies. But the rest of the music is, original music composed by Shirley Walker, and it's awesome. She does a great job with that. And rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Too. Rest in peace, Arlene Sorkin. So many of those actors have passed.
Oh my goodness.
Arlene Sorkin played Harley Quinn, and Kevin Conroy, the best Batman voice actor. Yeah, Batman's awesome. What do you have next, Dan?
For me, this is words are hard.
Yeah.
This is a surprising cut. Justice League Unlimited is a part of my formative list of 10. And that is because that is another cartoon me and my mom used to watch all together all the time. Okay, we loved us some Justice League Unlimited. And I think even though I'm only just now getting into comic books now my whole life, like in my later years, I think that Justice League Unlimited really was formative in the way that like it put me firmly on the side of DC in the DC versus Marvel kind of dichotomy, because it's like even now as a comic book reader, I think I still prefer DC a lot more. And like the Marvel movies, I understand why people like them. They are not for me, unfortunately.
Understandable.
And I think Justice League Unlimited is partially to blame for that. I just think that DC heroes are more interesting.
I get it.
I
completely get it.
I could never disagree with that. Justice League Unlimited is awesome. What do you have next, Bree?
I have Before You Crucify Me. I grew up with this, and it's called Bobobo. Well, his full name is Bobobo-bo Bo-bobo Bo-bobo, but you can call me Bobobo.
Deep cut.
Yeah, it's a classic.
I am a big fan of like miscellaneous humor, like just dumb humor. And I don't even know how to describe this show. It was just they were going on an adventure and like there was always something like very weird. Like you just can't comprehend it. And I think my favorite character was Gasser. And yes, his name is what he does. He farts.
I love
and
that.
grows big.
I love that.
But like I don't know. It was just like a good watch. Like if you were ever stressed out and just needed to laugh, Bobobo was your show. I still know like what the description was for that. Should I look it up?
Wait, it says that wait, no, this is the description for the anime specifically, because it says like it is one of the weirdest yet funny animes using puns, cross-dressing, and lots of visual gags.
Basically, it's just like
but the actual description says taking place in the year 300X, an evil organization known as the Bald Empire or Margarita Empire is planning to take over the world by stealing everyone's hair. The Bald Empire, led by Emperor Baldy Bald, will have to go through Bobobo-bo-bobo, who is determined to put a stop to them once and for all. Yeah, like that's wild. Yeah, I always remember seeing this when I was younger.
It was too funny. I would always look forward to seeing it, but yeah, that's basically one of mine.
Next for me is Cowboy Bebop, because Cowboy Bebop is the GOAT. Cowboy Bebop is my second favorite anime of all time, and I love Cowboy Bebop so much. The music, Cowboy Bebop is the reason I love jazz so much. Cowboy Bebop is awesome. The animation, the art, the characters. The characters, the voice, the English dub, one of the greatest of all time.
True. Honestly, Cowboy Bebop's English dub is the reason why I like, vouch for English dubs nowadays, because it's like they're getting to be that level.
It just Cowboy Bebop is always if specifically an adult ask me, they're like, I want to get to anime. What do you want to get into? If I could only pick one, it would always be Cowboy Bebop. It is the best way to transition someone who's never watched anime before into anime, because it pulls so much from American storytelling, and it's not as weird and goofy as most anime are. So it's a very easy thing to get into and to like ease your way into that world. Cowboy Bebop is so good. What do you have next, day?
My sixth one, Futurama, actually. First cartoon I ever cried at.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, first TV show, period, I ever cried at. And I was especially surprised because, again, it's a cartoon. It's funny, haha. And it had been funny, haha, up until that goddamn dog episode. You all know what I'm talking about. All know what I'm talking about. That episode, I don't know. It changed my brain chemistry in all the worst ways. And I was so mad afterwards because I'm like, this is Futurama. This is haha funny not Matt Groening. Is it? Let me fact check. Let me fact check. Because
Same people as Simpsons, right?
yeah. Yeah, Matt Groening. I was right. And it's like, this is supposed to be funny, haha, social satire commentary. Why is it sad?
Yeah.
But I still am very fond because I binge watched the entirety of Futurama in one sitting when it was still on Netflix. That was fun. Took me an entire day to do so, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And I totally would do it again, if the urge ever arises.
Have you watched the new
I
season?
haven't watched the new season, but I've heard good things about it. So
Okay.
it's on my docket.
Cool.
Good.
So we're 51 minutes in and we're only still on animation. So
This is crazy. Should I just list off my last 3?
I mean, if you want to.
You know what? I'm gonna ignore this one. So D-Grayman,
Mm.
Dragon Ball,
Mhm.
and it's between Inyuasha and Fruits Basket. I'll have to say Inyuasha.
Mm.
D-Grayman, I don't even. I feel like I have to look up a description for that.
I always heard of D-Grayman, but I don't really know much about him.
As I say, that's another really deep cut.
Yeah.
Deep cuts.
Listen, I grew up with a lot of intense anime.
I feel it.
But it's set in an alternate 19th century. The story focuses on an organization of exorcists named the Black Order as they defend humanity against the Noah family, reincarnations of Noah and his 12 apostles.
They make it biblical. Crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot that's what D-Grayman was about.
I'm low-key into biblical stuff, like Blue Exorcist. Seven Deadly Sins was up there at some point, and then it just got really weird.
Yeah.
7 deadly terabytes.
Ah!
It's crazy.
Wait, that's essentially what it is. I'm not gonna read this extra long description.
Is that Is that your whole top 10?
Yeah, I just said the last 3 and skipped one of them, which was Princess Jellyfish. But I've already talked about Princess Jellyfish so much.
So list your whole top 10 again. Or not top 10, but 10 cartoons that get to know you.
Wait, let me. So I said Psychopaths, Amazing World of Gumball, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage, Samurai Jack, Full Metal Alchemist, Bobobo, D-Grayman, Dragon Ball, and Inyuasha.
Cool.
Is that 10?
I don't know. I wasn't counting. So next for me, is The Incredibles.
Dang it! I put that on my other one.
The Incredibles is to this day the best Pixar movie ever made. Nothing comes close.
True.
Also, just because The Incredibles 2 isn't as good as the first Incredibles doesn't mean it's bad. I think so many people perceive Incredibles 2 as oh, it's a bad movie. No, it's just not as good as the first one because the first one is so good.
It's literally peak. I don't think The Incredibles 2 would ever live up to The Incredibles 1. Not to its own detriment, but because The Incredibles 1 was just so
good. It was just such a good, it's hard to even really say satire in a lot of ways because it was very much a lot of just respect for superhero tropes and stuff like that. And it was real awesome and very clear, parody of the Fantastic Four. It's just very, very, very good movie.
And also an allegory for racism, but a lot of people aren't ready to have that conversation. I'll stand on the soapbox.
I can see
I'll stand on this soapbox all day long. We won't get into it today, but one day.
But please tell me about this.
To go through the rest of mine, number 3 for me is Arcane. You guys heard me talk about Arcane. Arcane is in the same conversation as Spider-Verse for me, where it's it's going to change animation forever. And Arcane is just special. It's just so special. I couldn't care less about League of Legends, but Arcane, fire. The animation, the characters, the story. I like season 2. I don't care what people say. Okay, I like season 2 more than season 1. But again, it's another case of not as good as the first thing, so it's bad. No, that's not how that works. I like season 2 more than the first season. It's real good. And that Echo episode hits different. I love Arcane. Recently got the steel books for season 2 and the art book for the whole show.
Nice.
And number 2, my favorite anime of all time, over top of Cowboy Bebop, Bleach, you both know this. You both know how
Yeah.
much I love Bleach. Bleach is goated, you know. Part of the big three. It's one of my favorites. Tai Kubo's art style directly influenced the way that I draw to this day. And yeah, Bleach is awesome. And last but certainly not least is my favorite TV show period, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Avatar: The Last
I didn't
Airbender
even think of Avatar.
Goated
I should have
list you
put
have
Avatar on my
here.
list.
Right?
is, if you want to get to know me, watch Avatar.
Please watch Avatar.
I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know, it's what more can you say? Don't watch the live action. It's ass.
God, please.
Either of them. It's
Avatar
crazy that
told me
it's crazy that I can tell you right now not to watch the live action, and there's two of them that you shouldn't watch. It's crazy that we live in a world
Yeah.
where that's a thing. Watch the cartoon, the movies, and the show suck. But
Twice too.
yeah, it's crazy.
Twice is crazy.
But what do you have left, eh?
Okay, so for my last four, we've got, let's see, Cowboy Bebop, not going to beat a dead horse. We've talked to death about why Cowboy Bebop is an important part of the Western anime canon. Whatever. School Rumble, also formative. Watched that one a lot with my mom. You know, that was one of the first animes that she watched that wasn't Dragon Ball. And she liked it a lot. Which was a really big thing for me because getting her to watch anime with me was hard. Okay, she didn't watch that. Nothing. She's not into it. But yeah, School Rumble. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Again, beating a dead horse here. We've been there. We've done that. We bought the T-shirt. At the top of the list, to the surprise of no one, is Trigun.
I was debating on adding that.
Who could have guessed
it? But specifically, not Stampede. Not Stampede. 98 only. Now don't get me wrong. I do love Stampede. And I love that, you know, Trigun is getting more modern attention. But I think that 98 is better only on the sheer value of its funnier. It's like when I watch Stampede, it's suffering for 12 episodes straight. And I don't always have the time for that. 98 is like lighthearted, and even though it definitely has its issues and like off-color jokes, it's like very indicative of like what the original Trigun manga was like trying to get at, where it's like it definitely represents that thing of like, yes, life is bad sometimes, but you still have to laugh and take the good with the bad, and it does it really, really well. And I watched 98 at a really like rough time in my life. It was like, you know, that transition to adulthood, and it's like I don't feel ready and all this stuff. And it's like it really helped me like kind of dial in and be like, it's okay that I'm not ready, because a lot of people aren't ready at all ever for their entire lives. And sometimes life can just be one big side quest. And I appreciate it for that.
You know, life could be worse. Somebody could blow up the moon.
Exactly. I could have lived in July.
That's crazy. But yeah, those are the, you know, 10 cartoons that get to know us. But now we have another list.
Many lists.
The top 5 cartoons of the year for each of us respectively, and we'll just do all of them at once. From here on out, I think we'll just go through all of our lists as we go through the next sections. Okay. My top 5 are. I'm gonna start from the bottom again because it's kind of ranked, but you know, the ranks don't really matter. At the bottom, I have Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, and the reason it's at the bottom is because it shouldn't have been a movie. But other than that, it was a good time. The animation was awesome. You know, a lot of good moments. You know, there was one. I want to just call it episode because basically what it was. That was just like, what's happening? Where I'm not gonna spoil it, but what's his name? Lightning dude. I forget his name, but his section of that movie was so random and very weird. It was cool. He got a real cool moment, but like it was just like it felt out of place in comparison to everything else. But you know, that movie was awesome. Dan, come on now, Dan's awesome. Season 2 was great. It didn't necessarily hit the highs of season 1, but it was awesome. And if we've talked about this in the very long conversation me and A had with our coworker Natasha about specifically Demon Slayer, where we talked about how it's basically, you know, anime nowadays essentially they get greenlit for one season, and that one season is split into 2 seasons. So Dan season 2 is basically also season 1. Like it's all basically one season. And if you view it that way, it's real good. Next is Predator, Killer of Killers. All Predator movies should be animated from here on out. Predator Killer Killers is awesome. If you've not watched it, you should. You don't need to know anything about Predator to watch that movie. It's basically a series of anthology stories of predators coming to Earth throughout different time periods to fight people and hunt people. And it takes place in like a Viking time period, like samurai time period, and like during like World War, like I think like 1 or 2. It's awesome. Watch Predator Killer Kills. Next, the Chainsaw Man movie, the Reze arc. That movie, now that was a movie. That was an actual movie, and it was great. They did everything that me and A have been wanting them to do forever. It's colorful. It is colorful. Finally,
colorful.
They're actually mimicking the covers of Chainsaw Man, which are super colorful, and the blood is colored. And they did that in this movie, and they're probably going to do that for next season too. And I'm excited for the next season because they've definitely learned a lot of lessons from how they animated that first season, and just the fight scene with the Bob Devil is just great. Still to this day, the best devil in the entire series.
True.
And last but certainly not least, something I forgot that came out this year. In my brain, it was last year. Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. A couple days ago, I'm on Twitter. I don't know what I don't remember what I was doing, but I just know I was on Twitter. I was scrolling, and somebody reposted the end of that last fight. And I forgot how hard that shit went. Oh my God. Those last 2 episodes were some of the greatest shit ever put to screen. I can't believe it. Richter was cool as hell in that last fight. Castlevania Nocturne is awesome. Him
all last season. I was like, Richter is so uncool. Where's all my juice? And you know what? He got his flowers. He earned that one, I fear.
Yeah. Castlevania Nocturne is lit. A few honorable mentions for me that I had to tick off the list once I remembered that other stuff came out this year. Is even though, I mean, it's mostly done, so it makes sense. Mighty Nine is awesome. Mighty Nine's so good. It deserves it. Actually, did the last season of Vox Machina come out this year? Because I might have put that on here if I remember that. That's okay. Also honorable mention, Vox Machina season 3. Because that was good too. K-pop Demon Hunters. Blood of Zeus season 3, also good. Not as good as second season, but still good. And Splinter Cell Deathmatch. Good.
Oh yeah,
good
I need to finish Splinter Cell.
Yeah, what do you guys have? Top 5 cartoons of the year. Include movies
Cartoons of the year. Cartoons of the year. Okay, for me, my list is kind of divisive. But at the bottom also for me is Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. Only because I watched it with no context and like having not read the manga beforehand or watched really any of Demon Slayer. And it was good. I was a little confused. I don't think it needed to be 2 hours, honestly. But in like watching it was good in the way of like, despite me watching it with no context, I still managed to pick up on everything really, really quickly, and I think that's really good storytelling. And it did make me go read the manga after, so win-win. Next is Look Back, because I cried, and that's the only reason why it's so
that was also this year. That's crazy.
That was this year. Yep. Look Back was beautiful. I love the style, kind of like the sketchy style they used for it and stuff. And it was just, just a beautiful movie. But again, it made me cry. And so it is relegated to the bottom of the list. After that is Don Da Don. Kind of in the middle at number 3 for me, because I really, really enjoyed it. And I really, really like, I'm excited to see the rest, but it's like, just kind of, it's not mid to me. It's just compared to everything else on my list, it's mid. And I hope that in the, like partially reading the manga and partially like, seeing the rest of it come out, that kind of changes. I'm excited to see where it goes. Next is, what else even say? Oh, the Chainsaw Man movie, the Reze arc. Like Dijon said, they did everything I was looking for in season 1, and I'm like, I hope that they take these lessons and apply it to the actual anime itself if we get another season and not a movie. Because the colorfulness of it all was just, it was a treat to watch. And especially for me, like a person who has a short attention span, doesn't really do movies very well, like I was locked in the whole time. And then at the top of my list, again, to no one's surprise, Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. But rather than it being like necessarily the quality of the animation, it's the quality of the working in of the Castlevania elements. I love how they handled Richter's story and like Richter's relations with Maria and Alucard, and like how it kind of follows Symphony of the Night, but it doesn't. But it also kind of follows Harmony of Dissonance, but it doesn't. And I think that it's really, really fun that it draws enough from Castlevania where it's like it's recognizably so like a lot of the plot beats, but it still stands on its own as its own thing. And also, it has Drolta in it, so it just wins. Drolta wins every time.
I mean, except for that one time she didn't. But
yeah,
wow,
they turned her ass into dust. It was crazy.
Was shook, very shook.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my top 5 for this year.
I'm probably not gonna go into too much detail, but mine is Devil May Cry, Hunter x Hunter, Summer Haku Died, Odd Taxi, and Splinter Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I haven't really been watching too much this year
I'll
of
allow
like
it.
new releases. You say you'll allow it? What do you mean? What don't you like about that?
One of those didn't come out this year, but I'll allow it.
Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
It's only because I binge watched it this year. And I haven't really been watching anything necessarily new to put on this list.
Okay. Yeah, Hunter just can't be mad at it.